Late breaking. This is WALB News 10 with breaking news now.
Thanks for joining us. Happening right now, WALB in partnership with the American Red Cross hosting Rise Up for Recovery Telethon. Phone lines are open until 8 this evening, and you can donate by calling 229-446-4038 to help storm victims in need. Carla Sands is out there right now with more details on how you can help. Carla.
And happening right now, we have WALB and the American Red Cross teaming up for Rise Up for Recovery Telethon. We've got people here, volunteers at our banks, waiting for you to call. This, of course, kicking off now, continuing until 8 this evening. I'm talking with Andy Brubaker, who is the executive director of the Red Cross. You know, a lot of questions. We see it on social media. Why is this so necessary right now?
Well, we are providing immediate relief to those victims here, not just in Albany, but over in Cook County, Berrien County, and throughout southwest Georgia and central Georgia, who are just in tremendous need of hope and comfort. And so the Red Cross is in the communities right now, feeding, sheltering, providing snacks, providing mental health services. I mean, it's endless, the things that we are doing. And so now we have an opportunity to raise some funds, continue doing the great work, and as the community rallies together and rise up here in Albany and southwest Georgia, we can just use those cash and go.
All right. Well, we will be talking with Andy as well as Katie Hinman, who's the development officer with Red Cross throughout the hour. Please, the number for you to dial, 229-446-4038. We have our volunteer operators standing by. Please make your donations now.
All right, thanks a lot, Carla. Well, this afternoon, many storm victims are getting their first chance to return home and see what they can salvage. The damage in some places absolutely overwhelming. Many people are homeless, injured, 15 killed in a pair of Sunday tornado outbreaks here in South Georgia. New at noon, we now know the names of 2 additional Dougherty County residents killed during Sunday's tornado. Coroner Michael Fowler says James Mosley and his wife Kathy died in their home at Paradise Village Mobile Home Park. The Mosleys were both disabled and they moved back to Albany in September. Paul Freeman died on Newcomb Road, and Oscar Raina died in his home at Big Pine Estates here in the county. Well, in about an hour, Georgia Governor Nathan Deal will be in Albany. It is the second time he will be in the region this month touring storm damage, but this time he will be met with widespread catastrophic devastation. John Huddleston begins our live team coverage this afternoon at Southwest Georgia Regional Airport, where Governor Deal will be landing on the tarmac very soon. John.
Well, guys, we are waiting on the governor's arrival. He'll be here, we expect, within probably about an hour or so, and we'll almost immediately head back up into the skies to tour that damage of the affected areas. Of course, we know this is not the first time that the governor has been here in recent weeks. It was just a few weeks back that he was here to look at damage from those other storms. Today, Deal will meet with officials, and then he'll take a helicopter tour of the affected areas. After that, he'll head back to Cook County for a driving tour of the damage there. But even without seeing it in person, Deal has seen the pictures. He knows the damage is significant, and that's why he's asking for money from FEMA to help in the recovery efforts.
They are in the process of finalizing FEMA appraisals on the most recent storms, and we're doing everything we can to try to get them to expedite approval of that as well.
Again, Deal expected to be here probably within about an hour or so. We will talk with him after he tours those affected areas. And of course, we'll have continuing coverage throughout the afternoon, both on air and online. We're live in Albany. John Huddleston, WALB News 10.
All right, thank you, John. Well, we are learning a dollar figure on these storms, and it's overwhelming. The Georgia Insurance Commissioner says the storms have caused more than $100 million worth of damage. Commissioner Ralph Hudgens says next week another claims village will be set up in Albany. That's where all major insurers will come here to help storm victims with claims. Hudgens says after 2 major storm damage events, he doesn't expect companies to raise rates or drop customers. And happening now, the National Weather Service is finishing up storm damage surveys here in Albany. Yesterday, it was determined that it was an EF3 tornado that caused the deaths of 4 people in Dougherty County. Those storms also touched down EF3s in Worth and Turner counties, and 3 tornadoes responsible for deaths in Brooks and Berrien and Cook counties. The National Weather Service has also confirmed that an EF1 tornado touched down in Lowndes County. In all, there were more than a dozen tornadoes that touched down in southwest Georgia on Sunday alone. Dougherty County authorities are clearing up some rumors about the storm, and there are a lot of them going around on social media. The coroner's office says it is not believed that there are any more bodies out there in the storm-affected areas. In fact, there are no other people missing other than a 2-year-old child. Right now, search and rescue teams have thoroughly looked through all the damage. Dougherty County Police Chief Jackie Battles spent time clearing up some of those rumors yesterday.
We're hearing that the people inside of a store at Mock and Mocher Road, that all of those personnel were killed during the tornado. That's not true.
There was also another rumor about a child being found in a washing machine or in a cooler. Chief Battle says that is not true. There's also a rumor that a child was found in a washing machine in Adel. That has not been proven as well. Officials have said they have heard nothing about that. They say if you do have a missing loved one that you cannot find, you need to file a missing persons report. Well, we are getting a look at more damage in Dougherty County. This is a scene on Sweetbriar Road where several homes were damaged by falling trees. I was out there today, and this is one of the neighborhoods in District 2 that saw the brunt of Sunday's damage. Commissioner John Hayes says he's making every effort to make sure his constituents get the help they need, and a lot of them really need it.
25–30% of our folk live below the poverty level. Some are uninsured right now. And so the recovery for some will be a much more lengthy process than for others. It's those folk that we need to really reach out to, give a helping hand to in the ways that we can.
Dozens of trees are down, and residents say anyone with a chainsaw and some time on their hands would be much appreciated. There are a lot of people out there in southwest Georgia that have been affected by this storm. Hundreds, thousands of people without their homes, a lot of damage on their property. Carla is back in the studio now. You're joined with 2 of those victims right now, Carla.
That's right. We've been hearing the stories, through our news stories, but actually in the studio, we've got 2 storm victims. They are sister-in-law, brother-in-law, Willie Farmer and his sister-in-law, Bridget Clark, both living in on Elizabeth Avenue in Dougherty County. First of all, glad to have you here. We count our blessings. Yes. But both of you, your homes are destroyed.
Mine, basically, a tree fell into the roof, so it's just widespread damage. But trees all over the yard, but one actually fell into our home.
Were you in the home at the time?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, so what was that experience?
I was on my way outside.
You were trying to get out of the house?
Well, no, I thought I was going outside, and the storm actually came through as it was coming through. And fortunately, I didn't make it out there before it passed through. So we didn't know the tree had fallen until we had gotten outside.
And what about your damage?
So I live with my parents in their home, and what the damage that we saw there, everything that I own in the outside storage houses are gone. Mm-hmm. And then the carport itself fell on my mother's car and my car. And it was mostly trees that did the damage. The house itself sustained very little damage. All the gutters in the back were down, but it was mostly the trees and personal belongings and everything in the yard was.
So where are you now? What are you doing, I guess, to get through each day?
Well, right now we're actually with relatives, and it's been pretty comfortable, and people are bringing food every day. After we cook, then we still get more food. So
okay, and as I was asking, because we are partnering with the Red Cross today, you say that they've been out there in the neighborhood. Talk a little bit about what you've witnessed.
Yeah, it's really a community outreach, because a lot of people are even coming through offering water, and we're fortunate enough that as being Jehovah's Witnesses, we have over 100 volunteers from as far as Miami to come for disaster relief. Mm-hmm. And you see the love of the brotherhood. It's because they basically cleaned up our yard, and they're out there working now.
We've heard so many stories of these people through your religious affiliation, but we've been hearing the stories about just strangers coming up and saying, "What can we do?"
Actually, on Sunday, when we finally got out the house, because I was looking for them, they didn't answer the phone, so I didn't know if they were okay. So my daughter and I ran outside, me with no shoes, and it's like 6 guys were running towards us going, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I said, "Check the house across the street," because there's an older lady there. He was like, "She's fine."
They had already been there?
Oh, yeah. So they would check, and I told them, I said, "I didn't know we had neighbors." Okay. It was so many people that just came out, and walked to each house to see what they could do to help.
Any projection in terms of repairs to your houses? I know everybody's still in the cleanup mode, right. but have you already investigated about what it's going to take to recoup and get together again?
Well, like I said, we have extensive damage, so I built my wife, the tree built my wife a nice skylight. So we sit there
Okay.
and look
All
at
right.
the moon.
So she's enjoying it. So no, but you've got a tarp over it right now.
Yeah, it's a tarp
So
over
she
it,
can peep and see the sky. Sometimes.
Yeah,
I love the
pretty
sense of
much.
humor because sometimes you do have to laugh so that you don't cry. But continued prayers for you. And you said you're with relatives.
Yes, we're with relatives.
Okay.
On the north side. Yes.
Okay, very good. And we thank you so much for sharing your story and glad you're here to tell that story. Thank you so much. All right, well, stay with us, everybody. When we come back, we've got the latest on the search for a missing toddler in Dougherty County. We are live with the efforts underway.
Well, happening right now, a desperate search underway to find a toddler who hasn't been seen since Monday. 2-year-old Detrez Green missing after a tornado tore through a Dougherty County mobile home park. WALB News 10's Desiree Duncan live right now on Sylvester Road. And Desiree, there's a team of professional rescue and recovery crews there now, and they are covering a lot of ground to find this baby.
Sylvester Road behind me is what is left of the Piney Woods Mobile Home Park. This is where search crews have been combing through all day, looking for any sign of 2-year-old Detrez Green. Albany Fire Captain Bobby Spargo tells me 2 additional search crews have been called in to assist Georgia Search and Rescue. Those crews moved in early this morning, taking advantage of every moment of sunlight to search through the destruction. Spargo says there's still several hundred yards of the mobile home park left to search. Green was last seen moments before the storm hit on Sunday. His mother told officials the toddler slipped away and then headed toward the kitchen area. That area was flattened by a huge oak tree, much like the rest of the mobile park home. And as you can see behind me, there's still a lot of debris left here in this mobile park home, and that is what is causing such a big problem for these crews as they sift through every inch of this area to look for any sign of that toddler. Reporting live in Doherty County, Desiree Duncan, WALB News 10.
And just to mention, we are still trying to get a picture of this child. A lot of people have been reaching out saying, can we see a picture of this kid? We are trying to get a picture of that child. Well, emergency management officials just wrapped up another press conference on the storm recovery efforts in Doherty County. We continue our team coverage with WALB News 10's Amanda Hoskins live in downtown Albany. What do we know today, Amanda?
Well, Kate, I'm right outside of the law enforcement center where Chief Rowe, the director of the EMA department, just addressed members of the media with an update on this recovery process. He says right now they're still in the search and recovery mode. They're still right now, as we know, trying to find that 2-year-old toddler. And he says the next step will be the cleanup. As of right now, he's estimating that 50% of the county has been impacted by the storm. He says the areas that were hit directly were where the most amount of people live in the county. So that's a lot of concern because so many people have been affected and not just rural land. He also says that Georgia Power and Albany Utilities, as well as several other companies, have been working to help restore power. At the beginning, they claimed about 8,500 people were without power in Doherty County. Now there's about 1,750 people still without power. Again, linemen are still working tirelessly to get that out. There are still a couple of roads that are closed. We have Holly Drive all the way from Moultrie Road to Radium Springs. That road is closed, as well as Honeysuckle and Radium at Redbud. Those roads will still be closed. A lot of people yesterday were concerned because they couldn't get down certain roads, especially even if they lived there. And Chief Rowe said that if a member of the police department says that you can't get down that road, there is a reason for that. If you provide your license, they should be able to let you enter your home. But if they're not letting you in, there is a very specific reason, and that's for your safety and for the safety of the department. We'll have more about this press conference on our website and in our later shows tonight. For now, I'm live in Albany. Amanda Hoskins, WALB News 10.
Take a look at this GoPro video from a Doherty County home on Azalea Boulevard near the old Radiant Springs golf course. Mike Lee says he and his wife huddled in a bathroom during the storm. They kept that camera rolling, but he had no idea how bad it really was outside.
We were just sitting there, and all of a sudden we heard a loud boom, and it was gone. Yeah. It was nothing. It didn't last 2 minutes. Pretty scary, but I really didn't think it hit my house until I walked out. And I could see insulation in my hallway, and I was going, golly.
It was messy. Lisa's family and friends have helped tarp the holes in his roof, started clearing trees in his yard. He says after seeing the damage around town, he feels lucky his damage is not worse. Incredible stuff there. Well, down past Southwest Georgia Regional Airport, recovery underway after a lot of trees fell on homes and across yards. Just about every home on Higgins Road has a yard looks like this. The man living in one of the homes there says it wasn't until yesterday that he was finally able to get out. Another man that we talked to, he returned home from Atlanta. He was watching the Falcons game and had no clue what he was about to come home to.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It's really, you know, to see the place now, I don't hardly recognize it because we had trees all the way down this side, all the way down this side. It was hanging over.
Jimmy Moore says he's been able to clear the front yard of his home with the help of a few friends and generous strangers. He says he still has 5 acres of land where trees are down, and I know there's a lot of volunteers out there that have some chainsaw handies that are willing to help out in the coming days and weeks ahead. Well, let's talk about another guy a lot of people are calling a hero. One of the members of our WALB News 10 weather team, First Alert meteorologist Chris Zellman. He was there for us throughout the storms along with Yolanda and Andrew, and I know you've got a lot of hugs, Chris.
Yeah, I got a lot of hugs, and too bad that not a lot of folks can enjoy this weather because it's a very nice day out there. Temperatures are starting to warm, but there is another round of rain coming as a frontal system will be dragging some moisture south and east. We'll tell you the timing of the rain and what's in store for the rest of your work week.
telethon. Taking a live look now at the telethon that is going on right here at WALB. You can help the storm victims of Southwest Georgia. Monetary donations rise up for recovery. The number to call, 229-446-4038. 446-4038. Help those storm victims here. They need it.
Now your WALB First Alert weather with meteorologist Chris Zellman.
Here we go with temperatures this afternoon. Very delightful into the mid-70s. We've got a lot of sunshine now, but quickly clouds will be invading. And as we go into the evening, the temperatures are only going to cool off into the 60s for most of the morning tomorrow. And we'll start to see some rain chances build in here from about 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. We are expecting a round of rain showers, some embedded thunder, but nothing severe. So there's some good news and a gorgeous look here in Tifton. And most of South Georgia looks like this right now, but there are some clouds beginning to come in into our northwestern counties, and we'll see more of that as we go. It's a little bit cooler right now in Cuthbert at 62. Here in Albany, we're at 68. It's 66 in Americus. More towards south central Georgia, it's already 72 in Homerville and also Thomasville, 69 with sunshine in Valdosta, 62 in Nashville, 68 in Tifton, and also Moultrie, 69 in Fitzgerald. It's a really nice day out there. Temperatures have definitely warmed up, and you can see how we're cloud free, but you look off to the north and west, and we're starting to see a little bit more clouds into the south and west, and we will see more clouds as we head into the afternoon. We've got a frontal system driving south and east, and so with it, just a little thin band of showers, but they'll get a little more robust as we get into the afternoon and into the evening, and then the rains will start to move in here just after the 4 o'clock hour into our northwestern communities from Blakely to Americus and then into Albany. And it looks like right around 7 o'clock towards the sunrise, we'll start to move across Highway 319 Thomasville up towards Acilla and Tifton, and then Valdosta between 8 and 9 o'clock. Then the front will move through, and as it does, we're going to see a pretty significant cool down. So this warm up is pretty much limited to 1 day as opposed to what we had most of January. We had a long stretch of warmth, like 10 days. Now, we did have that cold snap right after the January 2nd severe weather event. That lasted about 3 days. So we've had about 3 days of winter so far this year, but winter temperatures are going to return. We will linger in some clouds through the day tomorrow, but by afternoon, sunshine will return and colder air will continue to funnel south and east, and the cold weather I think will last all weekend long into the early portion of next week, and then we'll see a rebound in temperatures. But again, I don't think it's going to be a big rebound, and I also don't think it's going to last long. I think there'll be another cold snap coming in the weekend following. So we're definitely in a colder weather pattern. February could be colder than average. But 76 today, 58 to 63 on our Thursday. The rain chance is 30% in the 2 a.m. hour, 50% 4 a.m., and then we'll get back to 30% as the sun rises here in Albany. And then it cools back down on Friday. We start off in the mid-30s, mid-50s to upper 50s area-wide on Friday, and more of the same this weekend. Possible frost and light freeze through Saturday, Sunday, and maybe even Monday night. Cade?
If you want to help the victims of the South Georgia storms, write this number down, 446-4038. We're taking your calls right now. Rise Up for Recovery. We're partnering with the Red Cross to help those in need, and there are a lot out there. We're going to have more on our efforts to help the victims of these catastrophic storms when we come back. Stay with us.
And we welcome you back to our Rise Up for Recovery telethon. Of course, we're partnering with the American Red Cross to assist our storm victims in the area. I'm talking with Katie Hinman. She is the development officer for the Red Cross. And I have some breaking news, if I can go ahead and share that. We want to say thank you so much to the Modern Woodmen of America. They are a fraternal financial and insurance company. They have issued a challenge match, $12,500, which means we need the phones to ring because they have 5 chapters across South Georgia, and they are all giving to our cause today. So that's one business. What about other businesses?
You know, people have come together across this state to help, and across the nation to help the victims of the storms. And we need people to call in. That matching fund isn't going to come in unless we get $12,500 on our end. So please give us a call and help out people.
Okay. All right. And the number again, 446-40. Well, Katie Hinman, Development Officer for the Red Cross, still here, along with our volunteers, and the phones are beginning to pick up a little bit. You know, people want to know where will funds or how will funds be used. So please let everybody know how the funds will be used and how you are already helping the victims of the storm.
Fantastic. Well, the funds will be used for Georgia disaster relief. That's going to be helping the people who need it right now.
And in fact, they're here already, right?
They are. They are here already. We've had shelters set up. We have 81 residents in our shelters right now. That's down from 121. And we've already served over 1,100 meals. That number will obviously continue to increase as we get more information. And then financial donations will also be used to help people on a case-by-case basis. People who've been displaced from their home, who need money for food or clothing or shelter. And we even have volunteers online ready to go and help people with mental health needs or replace their prescriptions or their eyeglasses. There are so many things that you don't think about that you might lose in a storm like this.
Well, you of course, when you hear about a storm, everybody donates clothing and food and all those types of things, but you are asking for either with your MasterCard or your Visa or I believe American Express, I heard, but a card, a financial donation, and talk about how you are able to use those funds more so than, say, the clothing.
Well, the Red Cross, our focus is to give people help in their immediate need. So we set up the shelters. We do the immediate need things, help with food or clothing, by giving people money so that they can determine what their own needs are. You know, we never know what those needs are going to be in advance, and we also don't have the storage capacity to house large donations of clothing or items like that. So that's why we ask for financial donations so that we can kind of help put that money where it's needed most, and a lot of times that's decided in an instant.
And we are talking about those funds being used for maybe a hotel extended stay. They can go to whatever restaurant they need to, or if they need to buy food or whatever. Any projection on about the shelter and how long it might be up and running?
You know, we're not sure right now. Obviously, we'll continue to shelter people as long as there's a need. And then we'll continue to help people after that. The Red Cross will call people once we do our damage assessment and get in and find out where exactly the damage is. We'll start going door to door and making sure people have what they need, and we'll help them in the long term with their recovery process as well, helping them get back on their feet and make those plans as they move forward.
And you've already been in the neighborhoods. Our previous guest for our interview talked about how they had seen the Red Cross in those neighborhoods immediately. So not only the financial portion of it, but that also helps to buy food so that you can provide to those in need?
It does. We work with our partners to get food donated. We buy food if we need to, and we have our volunteers who come down from across the state. I know from the Columbus area alone, we've had 4 people deploy here. Red Crossers from all over the nation come in, and volunteers, not only staff, but volunteers as well.
And then speaking of volunteers, we have volunteers behind us. And when you started this recruitment, you know, you worry, will people answer the call? And I understand that when the call went out for this particular event, people said yes, no hesitation.
Exactly. It has been overwhelming. We had more volunteers than we expected, so much so that we've had to use your break room to add more phone lines. So it's fantastic, and the response from the community has been amazing.
All right, let me give that number once again. It's 446-4038, 446-4038. And again, do not forget, all the corporations out there, and organizations, civic organizations, there is a challenge match from the Modern Woodmen of America. Of course, they've been in business since 1883, I believe, helping families. They're a financial and insurance company. They have 5 chapters across South Georgia, and those chapters have all pledged to make that $12,500 challenge a reality. So it's up to us to match that. We need to take another break. We'll be right back.
Now from WALB News 10, this is an editorial and call to action from Vice President and General Manager Jim Wilcox.
Many of you have expressed the desire to help out after the devastating January 2nd storms and this past weekend's tornadoes. We know that not everyone can operate a chainsaw, heavy equipment, or help with the massive removal of debris and cleanup efforts, but you can write a check or provide a donation with a credit card. With so much devastation across Southwest Georgia, WALB and the American Red Cross are partnering to give you an opportunity to assist with the efforts to recover. We will be opening a phone bank at WALB to accept monetary storm relief donations all day today from 12 noon until 8 p.m. And you're invited to join us for Rise Up for Recovery. The phone number to call is 229-446-4038. That's 229-446-4038. All funds collected will stay right here to help our neighbors in South Georgia. WALB will also be hosting a special Red Cross Secure website to accept donations to help South Georgia relief efforts. Viewers, along with those elsewhere, will be able to make monetary donations by phone and on WALB.com's secure Red Cross page. Follow the latest updates hour by hour on WALB.com and on the WALB News 10 Facebook page. Rise Up for Recovery phone banks will be open all day today from 12 noon until 8 p.m.
If you would like to respond, please go to the Community tab and look for the WALB editorials page on our website at WALB.com or send a letter to WALB at this address.
And welcome back to our extended coverage here on WALB News 10 at noon. And we are teaming up, as we reminded you throughout the afternoon, the Red Cross and WALB helping those impacted by Sunday's storms. Phone lines are open right now, and it's all part of our Rise Up for Recovery telethon. Monetary donations being accepted until 8 o'clock tonight. That number you need to call, you see it there on your screen, 446-4038. The phone lines have been ringing. We still need those calls to come in to help those out there affected by these storms. And a major story happening now in East Dougherty County. Search efforts extending into the woods surrounding a Dougherty County mobile home park where a 2-year-old child is feared missing. The toddler last seen moments before Sunday's twister hit. WALB News 10's Desiree Duncan live on Sylvester Road with the latest on this story. Desiree.
And right now, this search is ongoing for 2-year-old Aditrez Green. You can see behind me these mobile homes almost completely destroyed oak trees falling on top of them. This is what crews are having to search through right now to find that missing toddler. Now, this is a search that has gone on since yesterday. Officials tell me that 2 more search and rescue teams have been brought in to assist Georgia Search and Rescue, including the Georgia Forestry Commission and Georgia DNR. Green was last seen 3 days ago. His mother told officials the boy slipped away moments before the storm hit and headed in toward the kitchen area of the home. Albany Fire Captain Bobby Spargo says though the clock is ticking, crews are remaining optimistic.
So, you know, we're always optimistic and hope for the best and work to make the best happen.
And this is a search that could take several more days until they have an answer. There are still several hundred yards of this area still left to search, including the woods surrounding this, and they'll continue to search until sundown today. And again, we are still working on getting a photo of this boy. We know we've had many questions surrounding if there is a photo of this boy. We are working on getting a photo of Detrez Green, and until then, these crews will continue searching until they find him. Reporting live in Dougherty County, Desiree Duncan, WALB News 10.
So many South Georgia counties were hit by tornadoes on Sunday. One of those, Turner County, still recovering from storms. They saw a lot of damage there, and they're hoping to get the process going with FEMA so that residents there can receive some help. Now take a look at some of this video. Officials say they are still assessing the damage left from the storms. Remember, it was an EF3 that touched down there in Turner County. Right now, they've counted around 60 homes that were damaged. Many look just like this, piles of debris. 40 homes were damaged beyond repair. The American Red Cross is assisting at this time. They opened a shelter at the Turner County Civic Center, and the cleanup process there is far from over, and we're going to have more on that story coming up later today. From Turner County on WALB News 10. Georgia U.S. Senators David Perdue and Johnny Isakson called for a moment of silence on the Senate floor for South Georgia tornado victims. They're also calling on the federal government to provide its help for the storm-battered region.
Close to me. I grew up as a young boy working on a farm in Fitzgerald, Georgia, not far from Albany. I know what these people are like, and they're salt of the earth folks. They don't deserve something like this happening, but they do deserve and they do merit everything we can do to get them aid. Recent storms.
Isakson said Secretary Kelly has offered the services of FEMA and federal crews on the ground here in Dougherty County as we speak. A lot of kids in South Georgia trying to recover from the shock of Sunday's tornadoes. 11-year-old Samuel Fox, just one of those, says he was terrified. He was watching in the distance with his dad when they heard a rumble, and that's when they ran to the bathroom to take cover.
We put helmets on and we put blankets over us. We closed the door and we started praying, and then we got scared because we kept hearing these noises. And then we heard when someone hit the house.
The trees just barely scraped the house. Samuel says he is happy everyone is okay, but he wants to be able to sleep in his bedroom again. Severe weather is also a stressful time for everyone, kids and adults, and doctors say it's important to remember to take care of your psychological health. Eric Fans is medical director for Georgia Pines in Thomasville. He says there are some symptoms of a traumatic event you need to watch for.
They start to avoid other people, socially withdraw. It's like they just don't want to potentially run into any reminders of the traumatic event.
And if you need help, you should contact your physician. Let's move on a little bit here. We have just confirmed yesterday that it was an EF3 tornado that touched down in 6 South Georgia counties. Meteorologists with the National Weather Service say 2 twisters that struck 6 counties carried a force of upwards of 130 miles per hour. Take a look at this video here. You're looking at the tornado that touched down Sunday in southeast Dougherty County, where 4 people were killed. This is the second EF3 tornado reported in the county since 1909. It's the 3rd most powerful storm on record. The deadliest tornado in the history of Dougherty County was in 1940 when an EF4 tornado hit downtown Albany, killing 18 and injuring 300. And just another reminder, WALB has teamed up with the American Red Cross to raise money for donations for the storm victims here in South Georgia. I want to tell you that 100% of the proceeds raised today will go to help storm victims. You can call right now. Our phone lines are open. That number 446-4038. That's 446-4038. Keep those calls coming in. A lot of people out there need the help, and we'll be back right after the break. Stay with us. Happening right now, phone lines are open, taking your calls to help those in need following this deadly tornado outbreak in our backyard. WALB teaming up with the American Red Cross for Rise Up for Recovery. That number you see there on your screen, 446-4038. WALB will also be hosting a special Red Cross secured website to accept donations to help South Georgia relief efforts. Viewers will be able to donate money by phone or immediately online at WALB.com's secure Red Cross page. And you can follow the latest updates hour by hour on WALB.com and on our WALB News 10 Facebook page. Again, that number 446-4038. Keep those phone lines ringing. Let's go over to Carla now. And Carla, there we are. Let's go over to Carla now. A lot of churches out there have been assisting people. And if it was not for these churches, a lot of folks would not have any help, any food, any clothing out there. You're with one of those generous Good Samaritans right now.
That is right. It happens to be my own church, Bethel AME Church. I'm talking with the pastor, Kevin T. Moore. He's been working. They're loading up the vans right now and vehicles. You are getting ready to have services offered and items offered. Talk about this. And by the way, Bethel AME is on the Good Samaritan facilities list. And it has been since January, I guess, 2nd or 3rd.
Exactly. With the Red Cross, we have partnered with them to assist those who are in need. The Red Cross has a Good Samaritan shelter across the street from the church at the Civic Center. And so we are able to assist those who need additional assistance. Right now, we are at the Radium Springs Road, Harvey's on 1511 South Radium Springs Road, to help those who are in need and who are affected by the storm. We have bags, over 100 bags, with personal care items, paper goods, and non-perishable food items.
And then, of course, I believe we've got photographs of you getting ready for this at 1 o'clock. Yes. You have opened the doors of the church.
Yes, yes.
And throughout the day, have you had many people who have been displaced to come through?
That's correct. Yes, we have had some to come to the church. Today, we've had some to come yesterday. We are looking forward to doing this next week as well, perhaps Monday through Friday to be a day shelter again, just like we were at the beginning of the year when the storm hit.
And the day shelters provide what? Just a place to rest, food?
Yes, we provide a warm environment. That's number one. Number two, we provide food, breakfast, lunch, and a snack during the evening. And we also have free Wi-Fi in places for them to charge their phones and things of that nature.
You know, Cade mentioned it, and how many churches across our area are answering that call.
Right.
And a part of the church's mission, of course, you're dealing with the physical right now.
That's correct.
But do you have people coming through who really, they're just, maybe their house is no longer standing, or there may be injuries and they need spiritual?
Yeah, we have seen those who have been affected mentally and emotionally by this storm. And we're doing the very best we can to comfort those and console those.
Okay, all right. Again, starting at 1 o'clock, do you know how long you'll be out in the Harveys?
As soon as we run out.
Okay, and
we'll
in fact, that makes me think about after January 2nd, you were in, was it the Staples parking lot?
That's right, the Staples parking lot.
And you had food that you were giving out there?
That's correct. Yeah, we were giving out food, we were giving out paper goods and blankets. And so we're trying to do the same thing this time around to help our community. One, Albany, the Good Life City, we're doing our best to help everybody who's in need.
Okay, and if people want to donate to the cause, of course, we've been hearing that American Red Cross in need of funding, but there are also those personal care items.
Right.
The clothes, the temperatures will be dropping.
That's right.
So I think people have been able to get clothing.
Right.
But when you talk about, we're talking underwear.
Exactly.
We're talking about toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, your personal
shampoo,
care.
things like that. Yes, and we have solicited those things from the Connectional Church, our missionary society, the Episcopal district. We have had donations come in from across the state to help us assist Albany. And so it's good to know that we're not by ourselves as a Albany community, that we are here to help each other.
All right, again, beginning in just a few moments at 1 o'clock in the Harvey's parking lot. That's 1511 South Radium Springs Road. Bethel AME Church will be there. 100 care packages with paper goods, blankets, batteries. Oh my gosh,
yes.
Batteries and non-perishable food items, as well as those personal care items. And what time do you open in terms of that day? The Good Samaritans?
We open around 9 a.m. for that. 9 to 5 we'll be open for that.
Okay, and so you're there, what, tomorrow?
Yeah, yes, tomorrow and through the weekend. We'll probably start on Monday, then finish it through the weekend. Okay. The next weekend.
All right, and you've got your volunteers out there. We appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and stay with us, everybody. We've got more for you after the break.
And we are back here on this Wednesday afternoon, Mount Zion Baptist Church, serving lunch for storm victims every day until the need is no longer there. Storm victims picked up hot meals and clothing yesterday. Pastor Daniel Simmons says they're also delivering meals to crews helping in damaged areas. Frida Vennessy says she had damage to her home, but she is grateful that she still has her life.
It got dark. I heard all these noises. I was paralyzed to that chair. I couldn't get up.
There is a desperate need. When you go out and you see the faces of people whose homes have been totally destroyed or partially destroyed and their lives are turned upside down, they need something.
Meals will be served every day beginning at noon at 1905 Martin Luther King Drive. And there is a major benefit concert in the works. This is all meant to benefit storm victims here in South Georgia. Philip Phillips has confirmed that he will perform along with Luke Bryan, Cole Swindell, Bo Henry, and songwriter Dallas Davidson putting this show together. We will let you know as soon as they have a confirmed date. And we have a big benefit of our own going on right now. The phone banks are open right now here at WALB to accept storm relief donations. WALB News 10's Carla He-Sands is in our studios now with more on the efforts to collect money with the American Red Cross for the victims of this catastrophic storm. Carla?
And Andy Brubaker, Executive Director of the Red Cross, talking with me now, and the phones have been, you said it's like waves.
It's waves, and we've had a great reaction thus far, and we actually have a great announcement. We have an anonymous donor who has decided to match gifts up to $50,000.
Awesome.
And so we are so grateful for that match, and we're so thankful for the volunteers from the NAACP Youth Council, and we have volunteers from AT&T.
Now talk about today. This will continue until 8 p.m. So will some of the volunteers stay all day, or are there shifts? How does that work?
We have volunteers that'll be here all day, and then we'll have some that'll be here from 12 to 4 and 4 to 8.
Okay. All right. And if is it too late for people to say that they want to come in and help out?
It's not too late. We've got plenty of phones, and I know WALB's got more than we've got sitting here.
Okay, all right. And again, you've got a $50,000 anonymous, is it a pledge gift?
A pledge gift that will be matched dollar for dollar up to $50,000.
And we want to also, again, recognize and say thank you to the Modern Woodmen of America. There are 5 South Georgia chapters, and they have issued a match challenge of $12,500. So again, they will match that. So you've got to make the phones ring. The number is 446. The phone rang. That's wonderful.
It is.
The phone rang. 446-4038. 100% of today's donations stay right here in South Georgia. And again, you're working with the Georgia Disaster Relief Fund.
We are, and those will help not just here in Albany, but other places like Adel and Nashville over in Berrien County and places in between that have been devastated.
Okay, again, if you are in any of those areas and you want to help out, help your neighbors, we're hearing those stories about people, meeting neighbors for the first time, but you have been in those neighborhoods, you've been helping out, you've been feeding, you have the shelter, you have the Good Samaritan facilities, and we thank you so much for what you're doing, and we will be here until 8 p.m. Cade, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot. And recapping this day of tornado recovery in South Georgia, right now FEMA crews on the ground in Dougherty County assessing the damage. The search, meanwhile, continues for a missing toddler in Dougherty County, and Governor Nathan Deal landing anytime in Albany to assess the devastation here in this area. And we'll have more on that beginning at 4. And for News Anytime, you can catch us on WALB.com. 446-4038. Phone lines open until 8.